I breathe the wild blood, the ancient design. The shapers of Asgard built towers of stone, but the dirt holds the claim of the marrow and bone. I feed the brood on the flesh of the dead. Soon the sky will be painted with a fog of red. Hear the pack align, hear the iron pine.
The silver wheel will break, the mother's power wakes.
Yarn with the ironwood and iron bar. Yarn with the witches on a shadow throne.
Rise up the claws,
Swallow the sun. The doom of usurpers has just begun. Now, Skull hunts the daylight, Hati hunts the moon. The cage of their order will shatter out soon. I cradle the hunter, I harbor the jaws that answer to nothing but older raw laws. The winter is waking, the shadow line draws. No walls of the tyrants can hold back our claws. Yarn with the ironwood and iron bar. Yarn with the witches on her shadow throne. Rise up the claws, swallow the sun. Doom of usurpers has just begun. Now, Takala! Tear them asunder, tear them asunder, tear them asunder, tear them asunder, tear them asunder. Near Banbridge town in the county down, one morning in July, from a bohin green I was clearly seen as I went traipsing by. He stood quite still as if struck by a chill or a vision of ancient grace, and he gazed with a stare at my nut-brown hair till the blood rushed to his face. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no lad I have seen has a look so keen as I saw here in County Down. I gave no sign as he watched the line of my shadow as I passed, but I felt the heat of his gaze so sweet, and I knew the spell was cast. He gripped his walking stick with a hand so quick as he tripped o'er his feet. For a lad so bold, he was knocked from his hold by a girl that he chanced to meet. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin county down. Now they say he's gone to the harvest fair with the heart all in a knot, to ask my name and to play the game and to find my humble cot. Well, let him come and let him drum his fingers on the door. If he's half the wit as he's got the grit, I might like him a wee bit more. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, ne'er a lad I've sought has a heart so caught by the star of the county down. Snow on the heather, smoke from the roofs. I stand on the ridgeline, breathing the proof. Sky like a pale bowl, frost in my hair, name on my tongue tip, thin in the air. I call across the pines, he's yellow, high and wild and wide. If you're lost, then follow the sound. Let it guide you through the night. I call across the pines, bare feet on the ground. If your heart can hear my cry, you will find your way back home. Tracks in the powder, turning and gone. Wind takes the branches, braids them in song. Far in the darkness, something replies, echo or answer, tears in my eyes. Where are you now? I won't fall silent.
Good and fair evening, my friends. Welcome back to another beautiful night in the tavern. Thank you for choosing to spend your evening with me in another revel of story time. Tonight is our adult story time night, and it is The Dragon and the George by Gordon R. Dixon, a sci-fi high fantasy about a man and his wife who get isekai'd into another world. And he is in the body of a dragon. Fascinating. Let's see who's all in this evening. We've got Molly Sue, we've got the Frostbeard, we've got Milu, we've got the Bear. We've got Bear, thank you for the resub. Let's get you your mead of the morning star there. We got Neko is in. Hello, good to see you. Bobby is also here. And I think Milu is actually first one in this evening, right? Let's see, and then over on the YouTube portal, we've got Mr. John J. Torres and Clifford, of course. Just watching Freerun. Freerun is... I'm not going to get into a rant about anime this evening because my face hurts and I want to read to you guys. So I'm not going to get too far into any... Nate, hello my friend. Thank you kindly for the heart me over on TikTok. Tips to the cavern keeper. My mouth is swollen, so I'm going to be mispronouncing things all night. Tips to the tavern keeper always appreciated. I like this music. This is the ladies playlist. She puts all of our music and visuals together. And I'm doing well, Clifford. I have some face things going on, but what else is new? Fernando and Jacob, hello and welcome in, my friends. So very glad that you could join us. Grab a seat and settle in. All right, welcome, 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 one and all. Probably very few waffles. Have a cat completely out of it on top of me. I was out all day and he missed me. Every time that the lady does not go to bed, both of her cats throw fits. Like if she pulls an all-nighter, they absolutely just lose all sense of being and identity. Like I came home last night. I had gone out to the store for a bit and then came back. And when I came back, I didn't go to the store. I was working upstairs. My brain's not even working. And when I came down, they were both sitting on the back of the couch, staring at her, waiting for her to go to bed. If at any point she does not do what they expect her to do, they just lose all things. The Lion! Hey, the tavern is on. The tavern is indeed on. Welcome in. I went to get eggs, didn't I? I did not. Actually, what I went to get hash brown, potato hash browns, because the... Yes, so I went very late to get the hash brown, like the pre-made hash brown pads, because the lady likes them. The lady and the boy both like them. And what we do is I'm trying to recreate a breakfast burrito from her youth that she very much enjoyed. And while I was there, I just grabbed 2 boxes of these pre-made hash brown pads. And the gentleman who was stocking the aisle looked at me. He was like, well, that's a weird thing to come to the store at midnight for. And I said, well, yeah, my wife likes these breakfast burritos that we make, and they're made, this way. And he goes, oh, wait, what, huh? What? He's like, go over that all again for me. And I told him how to make the burrito, and he's like, that sounds delicious. Write it down for me. I want to try that. So I literally wrote down the recipe to this burrito to this random guy who was stocking shelves at the store. I didn't expect to see you tonight. I generally we are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Lion. We try to be. This next week is going to be... It's going to depend. I'm very likely going to have things cut out of my mouth in the next day or two. Obviously, he's not married. I don't know. Out here, it's not so common. The lady and I have a bunch of friends who are married and neither person cooks. And in many instances, it's like me, where the lady can cook, and she's quite a good cook, but I end up doing most of the cooking. Now, Castle, I found out that the lady had or has hiccups. I'm convinced my youngest bear cub that tickles cure hiccups. Well, I mean, even if that's not true, I will still tickle her just for the fun of it, under the guise of curing hiccups. Tsunomi, I finally got to eat today. What? Finally? What was going on that you weren't eating, Tsunomi? Throw them back if they can't cook. It's not weird, it's yummy. It is yummy. It is. I'm still trying to get it to be the way that she remembers it. Because that's the thing, is like I'm trying to recreate a breakfast burrito she had in her school years. That she used to buy from the snack shop at her school. And all I have to go on are very vague inferences about what was in it and what it tasted like. So it's kind of like trying to recreate ancient magic from memory. It works, I promise. Baking counts. Because you can actually do most meals. Most meals you can do through baking. So if you're good at baking, you can pretty much cover most meals. But yeah, I get more joy out of cooking than the lady does. She likes to cook if you know it's a supportive environment. But generally, in her experience cooking, the people around, I'm trying not to point fingers, the people around made it less than enjoyable to do so. I watched a fantastic documentary over the last weekend about the Norse Gaels. The Gal Gavel. Where was the documentary lying? People don't like to contribute to the household. Whoa, it was rough. Yeah, there's you get that a lot nowadays. Been able to cook since I was about 8 years old. A friend of my ex wanted to clone me. My hubby can cook, I just prefer to do it. But that's very much how it is with the lady and I. Like, she can cook and she does enjoy cooking. But I like cooking more, so she bequeaths it to me to do the cooking. I think I know the burrito you're talking about. We had a similar one in my high school. Yeah, so it's crispy bacon, scrambled eggs, and then these potato pads, the hash brown pads, grilled crispy, and then all mixed together into a burrito with some cheddar cheese. And the lady loves it. Mine makes Asiago cheese bagels, pasties, Yorkshire puddings, etc. Sounds delicious. I send them to do tacos when I'm tired. I mean, tacos are always a winner. It's hard to mess up. So tacos are one of those things where even a bad taco is pretty okay, but a good taco is like, knock it out of the park, right? Like a really good taco will blow your socks off. But a bad taco, it's still alright. It's like you really gotta work hard to mess up tacos or pizza. But if you got like a really good pizza or a really good taco, they'll just blow you out of the water. Alright, my friends, I think we can get... So, I saw that for some reason the ads started while we were still on the getting ready screen. I don't know why that was. But, all the better for us. We'll just get right into it. Mr. Beetle, hello, welcome in. Grab yourself a seat, settle in. We are reading The Dragon and the George this fine eve. It's from a YouTuber called Nico something. Didn't realize how integrated the Norse became with the British Isles and how important the Isle of Man was throughout history. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Isle of Man, Scotland, and much of like the lower eastern side of Southern Ireland became very, very incorporated with Scandinavians. primarily the Norse, but you also had some Swedes and some Danes who came in there, and a lot of the like one of the primary folklores from the Orkney the Orkney Isles is relative to the folklore that surrounds Jormungandr. So there's a gigantic serpent who's said to stretch all the way across the world called Storworm. And Storworm is a sea dragon, and he's got a bunch of stories, but the Orcadian version of the story has Asipadl essentially defeating him using a glowing peat, an ever-burning coal, and his tongue would become the British Isles. He'd bite off his own tongue and become the British Isles. His teeth would become the Isles of Orkney and the Faroes. So there's a whole lot of Norse influence that happens in Southern Ireland, in Scotland, in the Isle of Man, and in the Faroes. The Norse were, especially Scandinavians, were not Scandinavians, but good God, the Norwegians were very integral to the development of parts of those cultures. I make red beans and rice, my own version of dirty rice, and meatloaf that people beg for the recipe once they taste. It's hard to make a good meatloaf. I've rarely had a good meatloaf, but meatloaf is a different spectrum. It's either really bad or really good. Did you stream after midnight? It seems to keep the same 1 hour timer. If you do that, at least that's something I've noticed. No, last night we got off at 10-ish, I think. On breakfast, I think my biggest effort was bacon, eggs, sausage, and various flavors and toast for 34 people. The most people I've ever cooked for outside of like festivals with my family was 22 people. It's the biggest house I've ever cooked for. I love combining different things at breakfast and lunchtime in my high school. Yeah. Not a huge breakfast fan, but I can cook the heck out of it. The lady and I generally don't like to eat super early, but we both do love breakfast foods. Also, fried tomato and baked beans. I don't care for fried tomato, but if it's done well, it is tolerable. And my father grew up in the South, so I love me some baked beans and barbecue. I hate meatloaf. Weird, adds a strange. You have helped me get through some really, really tough times in my life, my friend. I wanted you to know that. Thank you. May the gods favor you, Anthony. I'm glad the tavern could be a place of refuge for you, my friend. I will say, I appreciate you crediting me, but in reality, what helped you through was your own fortitude, fostered and augmented by the magic of the tavern. You found your place here, and when you are home, it's a lot easier to be strong when you have a place to go. And the tavern is that place for you, and I'm glad that it can be. Thank you for saying that. It's very kind. I love a good breakfast. Rabbits makes an awesome meatloaf. Well, we'll have to try if the lady and I ever actually get to make it out to the Outback. I'm one to have breakfast for dinner. The lady and the boy love breakfast for dinner. The few times that we've done French toast for dinner, it's always a hit. I make a tater tots casserole that everyone loves. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with tater tots. Clifford. I've learned to make so many variations of things out of pancakes. I did culinary, but my kids are the toughest crowd, as they generally are. Fried green tomatoes are done, if they're done right, are amazing. That's a staple in the South. I think there was a whole movie about it, but yeah, fried green tomatoes are a staple in the South, the American South. I was in the Navy, so I cooked for hundreds. I knew people by their omelet order, not by their name. That's very funny, Bobby. That's very funny. And I... You're bacon and hash browns. Get out of here. Go. Meatloaf is an acquired taste. I mean, it can be, because meatloaf is really not all that different than just like Hamburg steak. But again, the way that it's cooked is going to determine, because the texture is a big thing about meatloaf. meatloaf texture it's either good or it's not. Well, if you cook anything in bacon fat, that's good. Bacon fat is the secret sauce to making anything delicious. Baird. Ken likes my meatloafs. I use a bunch of veggies and barbecue sauce. It's a way to do it. I found you all in the military. I appreciate how you worded that. Your content is amazing. The food conversation is fantastic. Keep doing you. Meatloaf is a bit texturally off. Yeah. Cheeseburger meatloaf is the best. I mean, it does sound like it would be good, right? And Anthony, I'm glad. I don't know if you've ever been in for Storytime or if you've ever watched them, but I do performative readings of books on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I appreciate that you've been around for a while. We have a lot of military folk here in the tavern. I think at this point, probably about a fifth of tavern folk are either current military or former military. So welcome in. We're glad to have you. A lot of folk come and soothe their woes from their time serving in the military. Oh, and just before I start reading, the badgers have found their way in. Everybody plug the holes. Make sure that the badgers don't turn over any trash cans. Let's go ahead and give them a toot on the raid horn. If you've never been in for when we get a raid over on the Twitch portal, cover your ears. It can be a bit loud. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Have a little serving of Viking raspberries, our badgery friends. Did we get a shout out for Arthur Christie? Thank you kindly, Frost. I appreciate you for that. Arthur Christie is one of the authors who finds her way into the tavern portals. And if you have never checked out her books, she writes romance, contemporary romance. So go ahead and give her a look-see and see if you'll enjoy any of the things that she makes. And Christy, I appreciate you for bringing in the badgers. If you need to run off and go and rest or sleep or whatever it is you need to do, please go ahead and do so. We're glad that you brought everybody in. But if you've got time, go ahead and tell us what you were doing tonight. Your poor neighbors. Fortunately, there are a bunch of walls and such. It's actually the lady's sister is above us, so it's her more than anyone who gets blasted in the air. I just updated my About page on Twitch after a full year, so give it a gander. There you go. Head on over and give it a gander. No, so this was, and I don't know, because it was so long ago, back when I first started doing storytelling over on TikTok, someone sent this to me as a gift, and it came from Grimfrost. Now, I don't know if Grimfrost themselves sent it, or if somebody sent it to me from Grimfrost. But this was made by Grimfrost. I don't know who sent it to me. I don't know if they sent it to me, or if somebody else did. But that's where this came from. We did some writing sprints, and I live read a chapter of an uncompleted work I dug up from 2024. Ooh. Is it like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wrote this sort of work? Or is it this is a nostalgic and I might come back to this at some point sort of work? Yeah, I haven't looked at Grimfrost's inventory in a while, but they probably do. These were some of the things they sold best back in the day. So I would assume that they still make them. This one has Futhok runes carved into the horn down here around the edge, which is obviously, this is historical, these things here. These runes carved in are not super historical. There are a few examples of them, but not really. But otherwise, they do a very good job of doing historically rigorous or historically reflective battle and drinking hordes. Of course, Bear, of course. All right, friends, if you are joining us from the Badgers, Please grab yourself a seat and settle in. I am Castle. This is my tavern, and here we talk about myth and lore and tales of yore. And every now and again, I read you all a bedtime story. And tonight we are reading The Dragon and the George. Hey, oh gosh, it's been so long since you've been in. KTMCC, you are Kevin, I think. Something with a K. If I believe that you are Kevin, and you have a friend named Jaren or Jordan. I think J-Bro or something was his. Yeah, I remembered. It's been a while since you've been in, so I'm glad I remembered. And you have a friend named Jaren or Jordan or something, yes? His handle is J-Bro. Am I right in remembering that? Ah! See, I haven't seen you guys in forever. You can't be golden this long or forget your names. But hello, welcome in. It's good to see you, mate. Are you both doing all right? Bearded brothers. Kevin and Jordan are a part of the Bearded Brotherhood. Yes. T-Dubs, hello for all the TikTok portal, and Kayla, hello. In the same sense of nostalgia for me. It's been an absolute honor. I have to be to work in a few hours. I'll be stopping back in though. All right, Anthony, it was wonderful to see you. I'm going to start reading now. So if you want to have up in the background so you can listen to the story. Most folk just tend to lurk during story time, so that's perfectly acceptable. Otherwise, you have a spectacular day at work, my friend. And make sure you take good care of yourself. So sorry it's been so long. We're both well. I'm just glad you're both all right. Once you're a regular, your seat is always reserved, so don't worry about not making it in. We have our own bearded brotherhood here in the tavern. That's true. That's true. Dominic, hello. Greetings. Thanks for the stories. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for the love and support you showed to the tavern. And now the other cat has crawled up on my legs. Now you're stuck. If you don't call a rescue team, Jody, you could die there. I've been in some PTSD recovery for a while. If I remember right, you're both military, yes, Kevin? So I hope you are taking care of yourself. If you remember, there are quite a few folk in the tavern who are either current or former military. So they at least have a cursory understanding of, what can be going on. I've been told I am to be an uncle. Well, I'll raise a glass to that, and Jody bought a round for the tavern in any case. So sláinte on behalf of the Emerald's Lady, and a glass raised to T-Dubs for his impending niece and or nephew. Sláinte. I miss the stars like genuinely some nights. It's a nostalgic feeling for me. When I was growing up, so the two places that I have most firmly fixed in my brain, because I traveled a lot as a young man, as a child with my grandfather. Where my parents lived, there was no electricity. It was a valley in the middle of California. And so when I was in the US and I was with them, they had no electricity and they lived in the middle of the desert. And so you could see everything. You could see the Milky Way. You could see all the stars. Now that whole area is terribly light polluted and you can't see anything out there. But my uncle Seamus lived in... my uncle Scheidel lived in the Wicklow Valley. And the Wicklow Valley has like a deep ingress. And it's just nothing but stars at night when it's not cloudy. And I miss that from when I was a boy. Being able to see all of those stars. Because I've lived now in the city for almost 20 years, and I miss that sort of thing. Yes, USMC. My father was a Marine. I'm about to leave for 45 more days on another VA program for my PTSD. I totally miss my tavern family. Well, whenever you can make it in, we'll be happy to help you find some reprieve, my friend. Light pollution ruins the night sky. I agree. I do think that it has overall been a benefit that man has conquered the night. But I think that we've been so focused on conquering the night that we no longer appreciate it. To T-Dubs, other than being a dad, being an uncle has been one of the greatest pleasures in my life, closely followed by being a godfather. I'll raise a glass to that. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and begin. Everybody grab your seat, fill your tankards, and settle in. Uncle Sam's misguided children. My aunt and uncle are both prior service. Uncle is retired. I won't come out with any Marine jokes. What's the most popular Marine joke? Isn't it the crayons thing? And again, my father was a jarhead. He was a devil dog during Vietnam. Your beard is looking well taken care of. Well, that's mostly thanks to the lady who regularly gives me a good grooming, and to the bear who sent me a fine gift of exfoliants and moisturizers from the exotic lands of the outback. I feel that I just want to lay in a field and count the constellations. I was thinking about doing some story times about constellations. The lady and I were talking about that. Yes, crayons, yeah. I remember we had a gentleman who used to come in all the time. His name was Uncle Kaiju, I think, who was a former Marine. And he would always make the joke that the tavern needs to stock cran baskets so the Marines have something to eat when they come in. My grandfather was a devil dog in Vietnam. Hey, see, look at that. We're all so much more connected than we know. All right, friends, let's go ahead and begin. Marine stands for muscles are required, intelligence not essential. I think most Marines would agree with that with pride and gusto. The Marines are proud of every ounce of meat in their heads. I bought Viking Revolution for hubby, and it fixed my irritation with his beard. It's hard to find good beard care. It is, because a lot of the stuff that gets put out there is not particularly good. So if you find a place that gives good beard care, hold on to it. Alright. We are in The Dragon and the George, and we are on chapter 5. When we last left off, Jim, in his body of Gorbash, had gone to seek out the magician, the wizard, Carolinus, to see if he could help him and Angie get home. And when the last chapter ended, somebody was outside the mage's hut, screaming for Gorbash. And that is where we begin this time. I unfortunately cannot grow facial hair, but I'm only 22, so I have hope. The best thing that you can do is make sure that you shave and hydrate regularly. And then I would say once a year, give yourself 6 months to just let things grow, and then shave it off and then do it again. That's the best way to get healthy growth, because then it trains the hair on your face to grow well. It takes discipline and it takes restraint, but generally that's the best way if you're having trouble getting your first beard to grow in. Why did we're off to see the wizard start playing in my head? Molly, because we are off to see the wizard. Not only are we off to see the wizard, we're already there. Oh, you know what? I brought a little tiny Olipop over with me, and I haven't opened it yet. We occasionally get these, I guess they're called probiotic sodas or whatever, because they have like lower sugar and lower calories and all that. But they have these little tiny cans last time we went and get shopping, so I grew mine by caffeine and depression. So I mean, to be fair, that's probably one of the cheaper beard routines I've heard. That's not bad. Tastes almost exactly like an orange creamsicle. It's pretty good. Yeah, Castle's beard products came from Jericho, Australia, proud veteran owned, made in Queensland, Australia. And they're good too. The coffee scrub really helps with my beard itch quite a bit. Chapter 5 of The Dragon and the George by Gordon R. Dixon. He led the way to the door, threw it open, and strode out. Jim followed him, he being Carolinus, the wizard. Jim followed, sitting on the path about a dozen feet from the door was Smurgle. Smurgle is the granduncle of Gorbash, who is the dragon body that Jim is inside of. Greetings, mage, boomed the old dragon, dipping his head briefly. You may not remember me. Name's Smurgle. You remember that business about the ogre of Gormley Keep? I see my grandnephew got to you, all right. Ah, yes, I remember, said Carolinus. That was a good job you did. He had a habit of dropping his club head after a swing, Smurgle explained. I noticed it along about the 4th hour of the battle. Left himself wide open for just a second. And the next time he tried it, I went in over his guard and tore up his bicep of his right arm. After that, it was just a matter of finishing. Oh, yes, I remember. 83 years ago. So this is your grandnephew? I know, said Smurgle. A little thick-headed and all that, but my own flesh and blood, you know. Have you been getting along with him, mage? Ah, well enough, said Carolinus dryly. In fact, I'll venture to promise this grandnephew of yours will never be the same again. I hope so, Smurgle said, brightening. Any change is a change for the better. But not bad news, mage. Oh, don't tell me. Don't, Smurgle started. I was being sarcastic. Go on, said Carolinus. What happened now? Why, just that young inchworm of Briar's run off with our George. What? Cried Jim. The flowers and grass lay down as if in a hurricane. Carolinus tottered and Smurgle winced. My boy, he said reproachfully, how many times must I tell you not to shout? I said Briar's taking the George. Where? Jim yelped. Gorbash, said Smurgle severely. If you can't talk about this in a polite tone, we won't include you in the discussion after this. I don't know why you get so excited whenever we mention this George. Listen, said Jim. It's time you found out something about me. This George, as you call her, is the woman I... His vocal cords seemed to become paralyzed suddenly. He was unable to say another word. To be sure, Carolinus interrupted quickly, shoving into the gap caused by Jim's sudden and unexpected silence. This is a matter of concern to all of us. I was just telling Gorbash that the situation's bad enough already, without our making it worse. Eh, Gorbash? He bent a penetrating eye on Jim. We ought to be careful not to make it any worse than it already is, don't we? We don't want to disturb the already disturbed fabric of things any more than it already is. Otherwise, I might not be able to be of any help. Jim found his vocal cords suddenly free to operate again. Oh, yes, he said, a trifle hoarsely. And to be sure, repeated Carolina smoothly, Gorbash has asked the right question. Where has Briar taken this so-called George? Nobody knows, Smuggle said. I thought maybe you could find out for us, Mage. Certainly, 15 pounds of gold, please. 15 pounds? The old dragon visibly staggered. My mate, I thought you'd want to help us. I don't have 15 pounds of gold. I've lived up my hoard a long time ago. Shakily, he turned to Jim. Come on, Gorbash, it's no use. We'll have to give up our hope of finding the George. No, cried Jim. Listen, Carolinus, I'll repay you. I'll get the 15 pounds somewhere. Boy, are you sick or what? Smuggle was aghast. That's only his asking price. Don't be in such a sulphurous hurry. He turned back to the magician. I might be able to scrape together a couple of pounds, maybe, Mage, he said. They dickered like fishwives for several minutes while Jim was quivering with impatience, and finally closed on a price of 4 pounds of gold, 1 pound of silver, and a large flawed emerald. Done, said Carolinus. He produced a small vial from his robes and walked across to the pool at the base of the fountain, where he filled the vial about half full. Then he came back and searched among the soft grass around the edge of one of the flower beds until he found a small, sandy, open spot between the soft green blades. He bent over, and the two dragons craned their necks down on either side of him to watch. Quiet now, Carolinus warned. Going to try a watch beetle, and they're easily alarmed. Don't breathe. Jim held his breath. Carolinus tilted the vial in his hand, and a drop fell on the little sandy open spot, with a single glass chime musical note. Tink! Jim could see the bright sand darken as the moisture sank into it. For a second, nothing happened. Then the wet sand cracked open, and a fine spray of lighter colored, drier sand from underneath spouted into the air. A small amount of this undersand grew about a depression that sank and became a widening hole. Like the entrance to an anthill, an occasional flicker of small black insect limbs could be seen rapidly at work. After a second, the work ceased, and there was a moment of silence. And then an odd-looking black beetle popped halfway out of the hole and paused, looking up to them. Its forelimbs waved in the air a little. Squeaky voice, like a cracked phonograph record, repeating itself far off over a bad telephone connection, came to Jim's ears.
Gone low to the lonely tower. Gone to the loathly tower. Gone to the loathly tower.
The watch beetle stopped abruptly, popped back into sight, and began churning away inside the hole, filling it in. Not so fast, Carolina snapped. Did I give you leave to go? Other things than being a watch beetle, you know. They're blind worms. Come back at once, sir. The sun spouted into the air once more, and the watch beetle reappeared, its front limbs waving agitatedly. Well, speak up, said Carolinus. What about our young friend here?
Companions!
creaked the watch beetle.
Companions! Companions!
It ducked out of sight again. The sand began to work itself smooth once more, and in a couple of seconds the ground looked as if it had never been disturbed. Carolinus murmured thoughtfully.
It's the lonely tower, then. That this Bri of yours has taken the maiden to.
Smeagol cleared his throat noisily.
That's the ruined tower to the west in the fens, isn't it, Mage?
He asked.
Why, that's the place the mother of my Gormley Keep ogre came from, as the stories go. Same place they loosed the blight on mere dragons nearly 500 years ago.
Carolinus nodded, his eyes hooded under his thick white brows. Where was I?
It's a place of old magic,
He answered.
dark magic. These places are like ancient sores on the land, scabbed over for a while, but they always breaking out with new evil wherever the balance of chance and history comes upset.
He went on musingly, speaking almost more to himself than Jim and the older dragon.
It's just as I feared,
He said.
The dark powers haven't been slow to move. Your Briar belongs to them. Now, even if he didn't before, it'll be they who cause him to take the maiden there, to become a hostage and weapon against Gorbash here. It's a good thing I took a stern line with that watch beetle just now and got the full message.
Full message, Jim echoed, puzzled.
That's right, the full message.
Carolinus turned commandingly upon him.
Now that you know your lady's been taken there, no doubt you're all ready to go rescue her, aren't you?
Of course, said Jim.
Of course not,
Snapped Carolinus.
Didn't you hear the second part of the Wash Beetle's message? Companions! You have to have companions before you dare venture close to the tower. Otherwise, you're Angela, and you both are doomed.
I constantly shave and hydrate, but I haven't tried the 6 months. You have to train the hair to grow. That's the part that a lot of like beard growing advice misses. Is you have to let yourself grow a patchy, gross beard every now and again, then shave it, and then let it come in again. Now, that's only if you're trying to grow a beard and you're not capable, typically, of doing a beard. You have to train your face to let the hair grow in. It should be beard worthy of sponsorship. We've had a few beard companies reach out to us. I didn't particularly like the company, so we never took on anything. But I would probably take something from. I would probably work with Jericho. They make a very good product.
Who is this, Angela?
Smeagol asked, puzzled.
The lady, Angela, dragon,
Said Carolinus.
the female George I took to the tower.
Ah, said Smeagol, a little sadly.
Not a princess, then, after all. Well, you can't have everything. But why does Gorbash here want to rescue her? Let the other Georges do whatever rescuing there has to be.
I love her, said Jim fiercely.
Love her, my boy!
Smeagol scowled aghast.
I put up with a good deal of your strange associates in the past, that wolf and so forth, but falling in love with a George, there's a limit to what any decent dragon... Come, Smeagol,
said Carolinus impatiently.
There are wheels within wheels in this matter. Wheels? I don't understand, mage. It's a complex situation, derivative from a great many factors, unobvious as well as obvious. Just as in any concatenation of events, no matter how immediate, with the apparent is not always real. In short, your grandnephew Gorbrash is also, in another sense, a gentleman named Sir James of River Oak, obligated to rescue his lady from the dark powers now controlling Briar, the Loathly Tower, and the powers know what else. In words of one syllable, therefore, him who you know as Gorbash must now embark on a quest to restore the balance between chance and history, and it is not for you to criticize or object. Or understand either, I suppose, Smurgle said humbly. One might say that, barked Carolinus. In fact, I do. His voice softened somewhat. We're all caught up in a new battle for freedom or domination of the dark powers, Smurgle. It's going to be a battle that makes your set to with the ogre of Gormley Keep seem unimportant. You can stand aside if you want, but you can do nothing to change what's coming. Stand aside? Me? Smurgle huffed. What kind of dragon do you take me for? I'm with Gorbash. I'm with you too, mage. If you're on the same side as he is, just tell me what to do. I am, said Carolinus dryly. Very well, Smurgle. In that case, you'd better get back to the other dragons and start making them understand what's at stake here, and just where Briar, you, and Gorbash stand on matters. As for you, he turned on Jim. I'm headed to that tower, like it or not, said Jim. Do, and you'll never see our lady again. Carolinus's voice cracked like a gunshot. His eyes were burning once more. Do it, and I wash my hands of you. And if I wash my hands of you, you've no hope. Now, will you listen? Jim swallowed his immediate impulse to take off then and there. There might be something in what Carolinus was about to say. In any case, he and Angie would still need the magician's help to get home again, even after Angie was rescued. It would hardly be wise to make an opponent of Carolinus now. I'll listen, he said. Very well, then. The Dark Powers have taken your lady to their tower for the very reason that they hope to draw you into their territory before you've gathered the strength to oppose them. They want you to come immediately to rescue the Lady Angela. Because if you do, you'll be easy to defeat. But if you hold off till you can gather companions, the Watch Beetle indicated, it's they who can be defeated. Therefore, you're foolish if you go now. But what will they do to Angie, said Jim. When they see I'm not coming right after her, they'll figure she's no good as means to stop me or do something terrible to her. They cannot, Carolina snapped. By taking the lady, they've overextended themselves, made themselves vulnerable. If they treat her in any way but well, all who might oppose them, man, dragon, and beast, will form a solid front against them. There are rules at work here, and just as if you go now to rescue her, you will certainly lose. If they harm their hostage, they will certainly lose. Jim found himself wavering in his firm intention to go after Angie at once. He remembered his earlier determination to figure out the system by which this world operated. If Carolinus was correct, and the magician was a very convincing arguer. But you're sure she'll be all right if I don't get to that tower right away? Jim asked. She'll only be other than all right if you do go now. Jim gave in with a deep sigh. All right, he said. What do I do then? Where do I go? Away, said Carolinus. That is, in the exactly opposite direction from which you use in returning to the Dragon Cave. from which you came.
"The mate," said Smirgle, puzzled. "Away from the caves, exactly towards the fens and the lonely tower.
And you just finished saying he shouldn't go to the tower.
Dragon," said Carolinus, wheeling on Smirgle.
Have I got to argue with you now? I said away. I didn't say to the tower. Powers give me patience. Have I got to explain the intricacies of advanced magic to every dumbwit and numbskull who flies in here? Or don't I? I ask you.
"No," said the deep bass voice out of thin air.
There.
Carolinus said, in a relieved tone, mopping his brow.
You had the auditing department. Now, no more talk. I've got my hands full as it is. Off you go to the Dragon Cave, Smirgle. And away with you, Gorbash, in the opposite direction.
He turned around and stumped into his house, slamming the door shut behind him.
Come, Gorbash,
boomed Smirgle.
Mage is right. Let me get you started in the right direction, and then I'll leave you on your own. My, who'd have thought we'd run into such interesting times in my old age?
Wagging his head thoughtfully, the elderly dragon sprang into the air, leathery wings opening out in a thunderous clap, and mounted skywards. After a second's hesitation, Jim followed him. And so ends chapter 5 of The Dragon and the George. I built a tavern in my friend's Minecraft world called the Enchanted Tavern. Hell yes. Darth Nexus, my friend, a stiff ale around, and it's butterbeer time. Around from Darth Nexus, Big Ed's buying around for the tavern. It's like art, trust the process. Exactly, Neko. Just give it time. Castle, what's your normal beard routine? My normal healthy beard routine is I do just a water wash of my beard every day. And then once it's dry, I will dry it with a towel and then let it dry itself. I take a horsehair brush it out, comb out the tangles. And then the lady will put a little bit of oil down on the skin and she'll rub it in for me. And then on alternating days, I'll do a beard balm and a beard butter. So the beard butter is for shaping and training the hair, and the beard balm is for hydrating the hair. So a little bit of oil on the skin every day, depending on how oily your skin is, and a balm or a butter every day or every other day, again, depending on how oily your hair is. And then, what is all this? Jazz, hello, thank you kindly for gifting subs to Ringlight and Nunakai. Thank you kindly. Have you made your way home yet, Jazz, or are you still in the travelings? But yes, I strongly recommend having a beautiful woman who oils your beard and gives it a trim on a week or bi-weekly basis. Definitely the best beard routine that you can get. What are you giggling at? Oh, me? A portion of my genetics are beard prohibitive. Native American men are not known for thick, robust beards. That's true. You can still train yourself to grow a pretty good one, but it does take a lot more if you have Asian genes or Native American genes, or the Sami have a hard time growing beards. And there are even certain sections of the North Asians who have a very hard time growing beards. Dylan, hello, good evening all. I marinate mine in spicy sadness and wash it with coffee. It only grows in that environment. I'm still here, I guess. Hello, Maddie, good to see you. Carolinus, I don't know how you spell it, never read it, is a fun character. He is a fun character. So it's spelt like the state, so like Carolina, but Carolinus. I think. I might have just lied, hang on. Yeah, it's Spelt Carol, Carolinus, Carolinus. Yeah, you did. So I got the beard scrubber, the brush. I think just the brush, because I already had a comb though. The lady got me a comb for Christmas some years ago. But yes, got a lovely horsehair brush. Ragnar Loff, thank you for the follow over on TikTok. Mark the tavern on your map. You should be able to find your way back the next time you seek a story. My wife, who's native, could probably grow a better beard than me, Dylan. If your wife is growing a better beard than me, she might be keeping some secrets from you. Fernando! Hello, my friend. Good to see you. No joke, a good brush makes a difference. Yeah, a good, like, stiff but soft horsehair brush will help to exfoliate your skin and also keep tangles out of your beard, and that's very important for a healthy beard. All the men in my family have thick facial hair. I guess it's just not my turn. It's funny because my little brother had a really hard time growing a beard at first, and I gave him the same advice that I gave all of you, and he started taking a brush to it. No, the other native dude. Okay. I thought you were talking to me, Dylan. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Well met, home again, jiggity jig, and off to the market with your piggity pig. Good jazz, I'm glad. I'm glad you made it home safe. Hopefully the fires, I haven't checked on the fires, but hopefully they're out and not not still assaulting your home. Jazz says, greetings, Bear. I hope you've been well. Yeah, growing a beard is, especially if you come from a lineage, a ancestry that's not particularly well known for growing beards. If you're not genetically predisposed to a good beard, it's a lot harder. My father has Native American blood in him, and my brother just got a crap ton of that. So when he first started trying to grow a beard, it was very patchy for him. Then he did what I told him to do. He hydrated, he brushed, and then gave himself 6 months, then shaved. Gave himself 6 months, then shaved, and now he's got a pretty nice beard. It's not long like mine. It's because we both have this very curly, like very crunchy, curvy beard. Yeah, and that's what we are mostly, T-dubs. We're primarily Scandinavian Irish. My father had some Cherokee in him, but my father had a very thick beard. But for some reason, my brother just got all of that and had a very hard time getting his beard to grow in. It took him till he was about 30 before the beard started coming in nice and thick. I tend to pluck mine out. Yeah, the lady does the same with hers. The lady plucks her beard as well. That was one of the funnier misunderstandings I've had during Storytime, Dylan, so I appreciate you for that. All right, friends. My face is killing me, and my jaw is throbbing. But I don't want to end just yet. So the next chapter is a mere 9 pages. I think we can probably manage another 9 pages. You guys want to do one more chapter before I give up? Being of Norwegian descent, I still earn the nickname of Weird Beard at work. No problem, love to be here. It's a great place to be. I love spending my evenings in the tavern. T-Dub says, yes, one more. Excellent. Cheers to beard plucking. My husband's family hates his beard and thinks I made him do it, and he asks me to make him undo it. I plead the fifth and refuse. That's the best way to go. You're a brave man, Castle. Never ever mention your wife's facial hair. Well, it's funny because she has exactly 2 little, just like transparent hairs that come in. One is on her chin and one is on her cheek, and we always joke that that's her beard. Is that she has these 2 little hairs that just one on each side, and we joke that that's her beard coming in all the time. It is funny though. Yeah, there are a bunch of people who have told my wife that she should make me shave the beard because I'd look more civilized with it gone. Um, but if I ever did shave my beard, I wouldn't need to worry. I would actually need to worry about looking more civilized because I'd have to find another wife. She'd probably get rid of me if I shaved. She'd cast me out into the world. It gets worse, believe me. Estrogen loss is a problem. Yeah, I mean, that's just a part of growing older. You get little cricks and cracks things there. I shaved early in my relationship with rabbits, and she took one look and said, "Grow it back." I don't know. I think the tavern would probably collapse under its own weight if I ever shaved. I don't even know what I look like under here anymore. I don't know what I look like under here. Let me see if I have a picture of myself from long ago, before I had a beard. It's going to be a long time ago. Let's see. I don't have one without facial hair, but here's one of me really young. I think I was maybe 19 in this 19 or 20 in this photo. And I was shaving down because the person who I was dating at the time didn't like for me to have the full beard. So I shaved down. I had like a chin strap beard and a goatee. And this is back when I worked for Fiat Chrysler International. That's me without a beard. TikTok's not going to be able to see it because it doesn't want to, but that's Castle without a beard. This is 17 years ago at this point. Long time ago. It is very funny. All of the pictures that I have of Una in my phone are either selfies of her and I together, pictures she's taken of herself, or very derpy pictures that I've taken of her. Where I just, like, at randomly uh, took a picture of her doing something. Yeah. I can't show you guys any of those pictures because she would murder me. Because they're all just her in, like, the worst possible situation. Huftho Makoda Wene. Hello, Senitha. Welcome in. I completely shaved my face today, and I am baby-faced, and I don't like it. I miss my patches. New phone, who this face? I'm here. I'm here for another chapter. I was going to bounce, but if we're doing another one, I'll crack another adult beverage before bed. Yeah, we'll knock another one out. I gotta pick up me clean shaven from a lost bet at work about 8 years ago. I have, I think, 2 pictures somewhere. I have another one that's better. It's closer up. Uh, Beards have a terminal length, and it's different for everyone. That's true. You can extend your terminal length a little bit, but it is difficult. Low End Gamer, hello, welcome in from Sri Lanka. How is this a meme that I don't know about? We get folk all the time who come in on YouTube and say they're from Sri Lanka. Is this a meme I don't know about, or are you all actually from Sri Lanka? We've had like 4 or 5 different people come in and say, "Hey, I'm from Sri Lanka." how every woman has a couple and they're always very concerned about them. It's always the women who never face those jokes who are the ones who should be concerned. Nobody wants to be rude. Yeah, yeah, it's. I have never seen my father without a beard. I have seen his senior picture from high school, which is the only one I've ever seen of him without a beard. I've seen you live. An mata ubth lankamweda. Nanthol ect awa. Bro, I'm Sri Lankan, bro. Somebody mu Lankawa Bainawa Aonea Uto. Are you guys having a stroke? What's going on over on the YouTube portal? My grandfather's beard is to his chest. If I let this grow, the longest I can get it is about just below my sternum. Kari Rawula. Am I saying offensive things in Sri Lankan? I wouldn't want to offend all 12 people who live in Sri Lanka. You guys have to make sure you're not making me say something that's offensive. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's get into another chapter, guys. Let's see. Oh, we need to run ads again for our Twitch friends, and then we'll do another chapter. So if you're over on Twitch, we're gonna run 3 minutes, and then when you're back, we'll get a full hour without them. I do apologize. Twitch makes us do it. My father lost a speaking role in a movie because he wouldn't shave his beard. Years ago, I had somebody ask me if I would do a voiceover role for a game. But one of the stipulations was that they wanted me to shave my beard. And it's because they wanted to do behind the scenes filming. And they didn't want me to have a beard in the behind the scenes filming. I'm like, that is very odd. No. Yeah, I don't know. Senitha and Low End Gamer are speaking gibberish. Mumanda me again abin. Panatharia. Una kawaii hathi. Hutho. Kick rocks to that. Yeah, yeah. I have had quite a few people over the years tell me to shave my beard. I need to slip out for the night. Thank you for the story, Castle. Be well in Tavern family. Frost, thank you kindly, my friend, for being here. As always, we appreciate you for your service as a barkeep. And we hope that you will have a wonderful evening, brother. Rest well and have a good day at work tomorrow. Rest well, my friend. And we will see you on possibly Sunday. And again, remember everybody, I don't know if I will be doing story time next week. It's going to depend on how badly they mess with my mouth tomorrow. But we'll see. I'm going to make sure that I have at least a week's worth of story times done. So that we don't have to miss out on anything. Bro, these are nice words in Sri Lankan. I don't believe you. The fact that you needed that you felt the need to tell me that they're nice words in Sri Lankan, I don't believe you. The casting director and director said he looked too much like a rabbi with his beard. That is an interesting issue to have been brought to the fore. Okay, post an update in the Discord on the state of Castle's mouth. I will. So my appointment is tomorrow at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. And I'm hoping that we'll be done by noon. Hoping that we're not there much later than noon. So, providing that I'm not passed out with my mouth stuffed full of cotton balls, I will let you guys know. And regardless, I'll have the lady let you guys know what's going on. I'm just hoping that I'm not going to be on liquid diet for the next couple days, you know? Gonna do. I don't believe that you guys are yeah, so Google Translate can't even. Can't even figure out what you guys are saying. I I don't want to say that you guys are lying, but Google is telling me that you're lying. Not that I trust Google. Do you know Mahinda Rajapaksha? I don't. That sounds like something I would need to go get medication for. Saharan Bamba Guhue. Lung. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble if I keep saying stuff. We're gonna pretend like you guys aren't. It doesn't seem to be a real. Huh? That's why I said I'm gonna stop. Because I mean, it's funny words. No, no, it's okay, Bear. I don't know if we can get in trouble for what they're typing. I'm hoping not, but I guess we'll see. Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. It's behind me, huh? Guys, don't get if you guys get the tavern banned, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people mad at you. I've never got to see the full length of my father's beard. He passed away when I was. That's a bummer. Hey, Fritter! It's been a minute since last. Well, we're on every Tuesday and Thursday, my friend. Well, generally speaking, but it has been a while since we've seen you. All right, I'm gonna Google what you're saying. So it's ma. I'm not gonna say it just in case I get in. Okay, so that apparently is the former president of Sri Lanka, is the thing that he keeps saying. All right, guys. See, now, this is trust me, bro. You come to Sri Lanka. See, you shouldn't have had me Google it because because I Googled it, now I know you're saying stuff that's gonna get me in trouble, and now I have to mute you guys. Now you have to be timed out because you shouldn't have told me. You shouldn't have told me, guys. Oh, come on, boys. Inappropriate. Inappropriate. Shouldn't have had me Google it. Good night, Bobby. Rest well. I appreciate you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Don't trust internet sources. Yeah, generally not. Generally not. Robin Williams used the curse in various languages as Mork from Mork and Mindy. He was always trying to see what he could get past the moderator. Yeah. Well, and we get this all the time, or we'll get people who will come in and just say like offensive things. For no reason other than they're just trying to be edgelords. And like generally I don't mind. Like if you want to come in and you want to like make fun of me or you know, just like say stupid jokes, I'm fine. But then you get people who come in and just say things, and like, if it's here on screen, I can get banned for it. Like, the whole tavern can be banned because somebody put it in the chat or in the comments. And I'm not going to risk my whole livelihood and the tavern just so some people can be edgelords, you know? Like, I don't really care about the jokes. I don't care if people want to say nasty things to me. But if you get my stuff banned, then I can't make stories anymore. You little buggers. Like, I don't even mind if they were having me say like naughty words. They didn't behave and now they're in timeout, correct. Well, that's what I mean, is like, even if I were to take it like relatively well, there would be tens, if not tens of thousands of people who would be very upset if the tavern got banned because of some edgelord trying to be edgy. Like, I know some people we have some people in the tavern who would spend their days trying to find who did it just to get back at them for causing the tavern to be banned. And I don't want that. I don't want that to happen, but that's just the reality. The tavern is very important to a lot of people. And there you go, T-Dubs is one of them. And again, like, it's one thing if you're trying to get me to say a swear word. I don't particularly care about that. I've had people come in their native languages and get me to swear. That's fine. Like, I'm not a child. I don't care about swearing. But what they were having me say was talking about, like, bad things that happened. You know? So. Bear, over on YouTube, if they come back in, they're the kid in the corner of the classroom with the dunce cap on, yeah. If they come back in and they start typing anything in anything other than English, then you can just ban them. If they can't behave. I don't get that. The tavern is fun. Why say things to put the channel in jeopardy? Because they're edgelords. And a lot of edgelords will go around and do that. Like, they think it's funny to get channels banned. They think it's funny to put people at risk. And it's just, yeah. They were muted for 10 minutes. If they come back in and try again, just ban them. Like, I don't like to do that. I don't like to ban anybody. But if you're gonna put everybody else's experience at risk, you can bugger off with it. Thank you, Bear. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into chapter 6. You can just see the beginning of the fins over there. That mist, bluish line beyond the bit of forest, coming in from the north and stretching across like a finger across your way. Smurgle, soaring alongside Jim, broke off as they left the thermal they had been using to rise upon, and had to use their wings to get to another. The prevailing breezes seemed to be blowing against them. Jim noticed that the older dragon had a tendency to fall silent when he had exerted himself flying. It gave the information Smurgle seemed determined to impart something of a fragmentary feeling. Nothing important comes out on fens nowadays to concern our people, of course. Except that Smurgle went on abruptly as they caught another thermal and started on a long, buoyant glide towards the dimly seen fens. For mere dragons, relatives of ours, you know, Gorbash, distant, naturally. You'll have some 15 or 16 cousins among them, without a doubt. Though probably they won't remember the connection. Never were a solid branch of the family to start with. And then, when this blight hit them, well, they generally fell apart. Smuggle paused to clear his throat.
took to living separately from each other. There are no good caves out there among all the bog and water, of course. They must be feeding themselves mostly on fish from the sea nowadays. I don't wonder. Only an occasional sandmark, sea lizard, or stray chicken to be found in that sort of territory. Oh, there are a few small holdings and impoverished farms on the borders of the fields, and occasionally they can be raided. But even those who have suffered from the blight, and everything they own will be stunted or hardly worth eating to a healthy dragon like you and me, boy. Why, I've even heard some of our mere dragon relatives have fallen so low as to try and exist on garbage truck. Heard of one even eating cabbages. Cabbages! Unbelievable.
Once they had had the use of their wings to reach another thermal, and by the time they got to it, and Smurgle took up talking again, it was obvious to Jim's ears that the older dragon was definitely winded.
Well, there you have it, Gorbash, he said. Guess that covers it pretty well. Keep your head, my boy. Don't let your natural dragon fury run away with you, and you can't help but do. Well, I guess I'd better be turning back.
Ah, yes, said Jim. Maybe you'd better. Thanks for the advice.
Don't thank me, boy. Least I can do for you, well, goodbye, then.
Goodbye. Jim watched Smurgle fall off in a sloping dive, turning 180 degrees. He swung to catch a lower thermal and wind from the seacoast, which was now behind them. Smurgle dwindled quickly, and Jim turned his attention back to what lay ahead of them. Personally, below him, at the moment, the forest and open ground over which Jim had approached the woods, holding Carolinus's house, had given way to a wide landscape of desolate moors, interrupted by strands of just a few trees and some poverty-stricken huts, made of what looked like fallen branches tied together in bundles. The roofs thatched with hay or grass. The inhabitants of these, when surprised outside their dwellings, invariably scurried for shelter at the sight of Jim winging overhead. They were dressed in furs rather than in the more conventional clothes, and did not appear to be very attractive people. Wow, Jim being judgmental. That is very funny, Jody. That is very funny. However, as Jim continued his flight, these inhabitants became more and more occasional, and finally disappeared altogether. The moors were ending now, and the forest Smurgle had pointed out was close. Unlike the coniferous woods around the tinkling water, this other growth was apparently of deciduous trees such as oaks and willows. They all seemed curiously leafless for this time of year, and their branches, seen from above, had a gnarled, tangled look that gave the forest a particularly forbidding look, as if it was the kind of place that would not easily let out anyone again who wandered into it on foot. Jim felt a twinge of smugness at being able to soar safely above it. In fact, once again, the intoxication of being airborne was making him feel better than conditions justified. He had no real idea of what he was heading into, but that did not seem to disturb his cheerful feeling. He had wanted to go to the Loathly Tower, and Carolinus had argued against it. But here he was, at Carolinus's direction, going towards it anyway. Whatever the reason was for his heading in this direction, What he was doing at the moment felt to him particularly right. Now, the far edge of the forest was almost underneath him. Beyond, there was nothing but the green fenland stretching to a misty, deeper blue line, which must be open to the sea. The fens was a good-sized area he saw, a greenly lush, low-lying wilderness of land and water. It filled the landscape before him to the skyline in the directions, except straight ahead, where the sea blue showed. He searched about it with his telescopic vision of his dragon eyes for some sight of a structure which could be the Loathly Tower, but he could pick out nothing. The breeze that had been blowing against him dropped abruptly, and a new light wind began to push him from behind. He stretched his wings to it and let it carry him, gliding at a small angle down the invisible air surface as if it was some miles long. As if it was some miles long magic slide. The fenland rose to meet him, spongy, grass-thick earth, broken into causeways and islands by the blue water. Thick choked itself in the shallower bays and inlets with tall seagrass and clubs of rushes. Flocks of waterfowl rose here and there like eddying smoke from one mere drifted over and settled on the surface of another. A few hundred yards away, their cries thinned by the distance came faintly to Jim's hypersensitive ears. Ahead, heavy clouds were piling up above the coastline to the west. Jim soared on above the still water and the soft grass, smelling the distant salt water. He looked worriedly at the declining sun, which was just now beginning to slip down behind the thick cloud bank he had just noticed. It would be nightfall before long. He was hungry, and he had absolutely no notion of what he should do once it was dark. Certainly he could not continue in the air. It would not be pleasant to fly full tilt into the ground, because he could not see where he was going. It would not be pleasant, in fact, to fly full tilt into one of the bays or mares. He could land and travel onward on foot, but there would probably be bogs. The sensible thing, once the sun set, he thought, would be to spend the night on one of the small land patches below him. Not that such a prospect sounded very comfortable. Also, he would be completely exposed down there if anything decided to creep up on him. Jim was brought up short by his thoughts at this point by his sudden remembrance of what he was. He had, he realized, been thinking like a human, not like a dragon. What, in its right mind, would want to creep up on a dragon? Outside of a knight in armor, and what would a knight in armor be doing prowling around in the dark? Or another dragon, for that matter. The only other dragon he had any reason to fear being around here, if Smuggler's Port on the mere dragons had been correct, was Briar. And Briar would be making a mistake if he came anywhere near in the mood possessing Jim right now. In fact, thought Jim, he would like nothing more than to get his jaws and claws into Briar right now. He felt a grim and sullen anger begin to kindle in him like a hot coal, fanned to life just beneath his breastbone. The feeling was rather enjoyable. He let it kindle and grow until it suddenly occurred to him that it was a dragonfly rather than a human anger that he felt. Or dragonly rather than human anger that he felt. Perhaps this was what Smeagol had been talking about when he advised Gorbash not to let his dragon fury run away with him. Jim made a determined effort to put the emotion aside, but the inward fire he had kindled did not seem to be disposed to go out that easily. He struggled with it, alarmed now, and, as luck would have it, just at that moment he caught sight of another dragon shape down on the spits of land directly in front of him. The other dragon was concerned with something lying in the grass What it was, Jim could not make out from his height and angle, but in any case, its identity was academic. The sight of another dragon had been all that was needed to bring full flame of fury within him. Briar! The word snarled unbidden in his throat. Reflexively, he nosed over and went into a dive like a fighter plane, his sights locked on the target below. It was a dive sudden enough to take the dragon underneath utterly by surprise. Unfortunately, it had one natural drawback. Even a small, flivver airplane, with its motor cut off, makes a noticeable amount of noise descending at a steep dive. And a large dragon, such as Gorbash, had no less air resistance than an average two-seater light airplane. Moreover, the dragon below had evidently some experience with such a noise, for without looking upward, he made one frantic leap and went tumbling head over heels out of the way as Jim slammed down into the ground at the spot where a second before the other had been. The attack dragon came to the end of his tumbling, sat up and took a look at Jim and began to wail.
It's not fair! It's not fair!
Cried for a dragon, remarkably high-pitched voice.
Just because you're bigger than I am, I had to fight 2 hours for it, and almost got away half a dozen times. Besides, it's the first good-sized one to wander into the fens in months. And now you're going to take it away from me. And you don't need it, not at all. You're big and fat, and I'm weak and hungry.
Jim blinked and stared. He glanced down at from the dragon down to the thing in the grass before him, and saw that it was the carcass of a rather old and stringy-looking cow, badly bitten up and with a broken neck. Looking back at the other dragon again, he realized for the first time that the other was littler, better than half his own size, and so emaciated that he appeared on the verge of collapse from starvation.
Just my luck,
the other dragon was whimpering.
Every time I get something good, someone comes along and takes it away from me. All I ever get is fish.
Hold on, said Jim.
Fish, fish, fish. Cold fish without any warm blood in them to put strength in my bones.
Hold on, I say. Shut up! Jim bellowed in Gorbash's best voice. The other dragon stopped his complaining as abruptly as if a record player whose plug had been pulled.
Yes, sir,
he said timidly. What are you talking about? Demanded Jim. I'm not going to take your cow away.
Oh, no, sir,
said the other dragon, and tittered as if to show that nobody could accuse him of not knowing a good joke when he heard it. I'm not, chuckled the smaller dragon.
Certainly are a card, Your Honor.
Damn it, I'm serious, snapped Jim, backing away from the carcass. Go ahead, eat. I just thought you were someone else.
I don't really want it. Really, I don't. I was just joking about being starved. Really, I was.
Look, said Jim, taking a tight rein of his dragon temper, which was beginning to rekindle. What's your name?
Oh, well,
said the other. Oh, you know. What's your name?
Sacco, your worship,
yelped the dragon fearfully.
Just Sacco, that's all. I'm nobody appalling, your highness, just a little unimportant mere dragon.
You don't have to swear it to me, said Jim. I believe you. All right, Sacco. He waved at the dead cow. Dig in. I don't want any myself, but maybe you can give me some directions and information about this territory and what lives here.
Well,
Sacco hedged. He had been sidling forward in fawning fashion while the conversation was going on until he was once more almost next to the cow.
If you'll excuse my table manners, sir, I'm just a mere dragon.
And he tore into the meat before him in a sudden, ravenous fashion. Jim watched. His first impulse was compassionate one of letting the other get some food inside him before making him talk. But as he sat and observed, Jim began to feel the stirrings of a not inconsiderable hunger inside himself. His belly rumbled suddenly and audibly. He stared at the torn carcass of the cow and tried to tell himself it was not the sort of thing any civilized person would want to eat. Raw meat of a dead animal, flesh, bones, hide, and all. Say, said Jim, drawing closer to Secco and the cow, and clearing his throat. That does look rather good after all. Stomach rumbled again. Apparently his dragon body had none of his human scruples about the eatability of what he was looking at. Secco reluctantly lifted his head from the cow and rolled his eyes warily to Jim, although he continued to chew and gulp frantically. Secco, I'm a stranger around these parts, said Jim. I suppose you would know your way around pretty well. I say, how does that cow taste?
Oh, terrible, said Secco with a mouthful. Stringy, oiled, awful, really. Not good enough for a mere dragon like me, but not for...
Well, what about those directions I wanted?
Yes, your worship.
I think... Oh, well, it's your cow.
That's what your honour promised,
replied Secco cautiously. But, I wonder, Jim grinned confidingly at him. I just wonder how a cow like that would taste. I've never tasted anything quite like that before.
No, sir.
A large tear welled up in Secco's near eye and splashed down into the grass. I actually haven't. I wonder, it's up to you now. Would you mind if I just tasted it? Another large tear rolled down Secco's cheek.
If your honour wishes,
he choked.
Won't you help yourself?
Oh, thanks, said Jim. He walked up and sank his teeth experimentally into a shoulder of the carcass. The rich juices of the warm meat trickled over his tongue, and he tore the shoulder loose. Some time later, he and Secco sat back, polishing bones with the rough upper surfaces of their forked tongues, which were abrasive as the coarsest sandpaper. Did you get enough to eat, Secco? Asked Jim.
More than enough, sir,
replied the mere dragon, staring at the denuded skeleton with wild and famished eye.
Although, if you don't mind, your honour, I've got a weakness for marrow.
He picked up a thigh bone and began to crunch it like a stick of candy. Tomorrow we'll hunt another cow, and I'll kill it for you, said Jim. You can have it all to yourself.
Oh, well, thank you, your honour,
said Secco with polite lack of conviction. I mean it. Now, about this loathly tower. Where is it?
The what?
Stammered Secco. The loathly tower. The loathly tower. You know where it is, don't you?
Oh, yes, sir, but your honour wouldn't want to go there, would your worship? Not that I'm presuming to give your lordship advice.
Secco tried suddenly, in a high and terrified voice. No, go on, said Jim.
Well, of course, I'm only a little timid mare dragon, your honour, not like you, but the loathly tower is a terrible place, your highness.
How terrible?
Well, it just is.
Secco cast an unhappy look at him.
It's what spoiled all of us, 500 years ago. We used to be just like you and other dragons. Oh, not so big and fierce as you, of course, sir. But then, after all, they say the dark powers got pushed back again and sealed up, and the tower itself broken and ruined. Not that it helped us mere dragons any. Everybody else just went home and left us the way we'd become. So it's supposed to be all right now, but all the same, I wouldn't go near there if I was your worthiness. I really wouldn't.
But what's there that's so bad? Demanded Jim. What sort of thing specifically is it?
Oh, I wouldn't say there is anything there, replied Secco cautiously. It's nothing your worship could exactly claw on. It's just that everywhere, whatever or whoever goes near it, without belonging to it, I mean, it does something to them, sir. Of course, it's the evil sorts that head for it in the first place. But sometimes things just as strange come from it, and lately...
Secco caught himself and became very busy searching among the bones of the cow. Lately what?
Oh, no, nothing really. Nothing, Your Excellency.
cried Sekko a little shrilly, starting up.
Your illustriousness shouldn't catch a worthless little beer dragon up that like. We're not too bright, you know. I only meant that lately the tower's a more fearful place than ever. No one knows why, and we all keep well away from it.
It's probably just your imagination, said Jim shortly. He had always been a skeptic by nature, and although this strange world was clearly full of all sorts of variances from the normal pattern of things as he knew them, his mind instinctively revolted against too much credit in the supernatural. Particularly, he thought, the old B-horror movie type of supernatural.
Oh, we know what we know,
said the mere dragon with an unusual stubbornness. He stretched out a scrawny and withered forelimb.
Is that imagination?
Jim grunted. The meal he had just gulped down had made him drowsy. The grey last light of day was leaden in its effect upon his nerves, and he felt torpid and dull. I think I'll grab some sleep, he said. Anyway, how do I find the Loathly Tower from here?
Just go due west. You won't be able to miss it.
A shiver was to be heard in the last words of the mere dragon. But Jim was becoming too sleepy to care. Dimly he heard the rest of what Sekko was telling him.
It's along the Great Causeway. That's the wide lane of solid land running due east and west through the fens for about 5 miles. Right to the sea. You just follow it until you come to the tower. It stands on a rise of rock overlooking the edge of the ocean.
5 miles, Jim muttered. He would have to wait until morning, which was not an unpleasant prospect. His armored body seemed undisturbed by the evening temperature, whatever it was, and the grassy ground beneath him was soft. Yes, I think I'll get some sleep, he murmured and settled down on the grass, and yielded to an impulse of his dragon body to curl his long neck back and tuck his head bird-fashion under one wing. See you in the morning, Sekko.
Whatever your excellency desires,
replied the mere dragon in his timid voice.
I'll just settle down over here. If your worship wants me, your worship has only to call, and I'll be right there.
The words faded out as Jim's ears were dropped into sleep like an overladen ship foundering in deep salt water. And so ends chapter 6 of The Dragon and the George, my friends. And just in time, my face is absolutely throbbing, my friends. I think we're going to end here for the night. I love your videos, my friends. I just wanted to bounce on and let you know. Well, thank you kindly, Kazor. I appreciate you so much. Thank you kindly. Wow, Jim. Me and another cast member at Home Run Fair are looking for a version of Jay and Silent Bob. And our version of Jay and Silent Bob for 2027. Sounds awesome. It is, and I have more work ahead to be worth it. I believe you, my new friend. I'm excited for you. Yep, that's going to be wait for it, some. Thank you for the stories and the waffling, but I must bid you in the tavern good night. Good night, T-Dubs. Good night, Fred. Good night, Kaiser, my friends. Always lovely to have you all. Can't forget lunch. Jim's a good man, dragon, yeah. What they never told to. Sekko reminds me of another character from something else, but I just can't remember. What they never tell you about Norse Gales from Nico Hutchins is the name of the documentary. 2 hours, 12 minutes. It's very captivating. Thank you, Lion. I'll give it a look. I'll add it to my to-watch list. I don't often get to watch things, but when I do, I hope that they are well entertaining. Have the best for the appointment tomorrow and get much deserved relief. Thank you, Neko. I appreciate you. And I apologize that tonight had to be so brief. I had a bit of a bastard night last night, and it's been my face has been throbbing ever since then. So I'm gonna Kevin, come back to me on Tuesday. I promise I'll give you druid singing. I can have the lady come out and sing a couple of songs if you'd like. I don't know if she fell asleep yet. She went to the bedroom. I can have her sing a couple of songs. My mouth is absolutely throbbing. I don't think I'm going to be able to do any more tonight. The timidness and willingness to default to a superior dragon reminds me of many characters. The first thing, oddly enough, to open my mind was Benny from the Mummy. Oh yeah. Benny from the Mummy. That's true. He does kind of have that. I don't think he's as treacherous, but yeah. Berkey, hello, my friend. Guys, give me just a second. I'm gonna go see if the lady will come out and sing for you all. Perfect time for Rattling Bog. Well, because they are in a bog, aren't they? They're out in the near. Give me just a second. Well, I really would have to be. You're in your jammies. Now, the lady is all jammied up, so she's not going to be on camera. But she has agreed to come and sing for you all. Kevin, I'm going to refund your points back to you. Bring them back to me on Tuesday. I'm in the VA. Well, next time that you're reading, come in. I'm gonna give you your points back. Next time that you're reading, come and request it again. We'll do some Druid song when you're in again. What would you all like for the lady to sing? She could do one of the tavern classics. She could do Red is the Rose. A lot of folk. The OG Toast. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. Good to see you. You're coming in right at the end, but the lady's about to give us a couple of songs. We are well spoiled. We do our best. Don't push it, Castle. You've done enough, I think. And I feel bad, but last night my jaw locked up and I clenched really hard and it hurt so bad. And the nerve has just been throbbing ever since then. I'm trying not to be a whiner about it, but be whiner. Tyson says Anne Bonny. Go ahead.
Go on that side so it's not facing the ear.
Yeah. Should I send the microphone over to you? Okay. Thank you, Giles. I appreciate you. Jody says Savage Daughter, and Berkey says a sea shanty. I think Anne Bonny counts as a sea shanty. And Bear says Gone to America.
Okay.
Savage Daughter is awesome. So I think let's do Anne Bonny as a sea shanty.
Okay.
Do Savage Daughter and Gone to America, and that'll be it for tonight.
Okie dokie. All right, Anne Bonny. Oh, I'll tell you a tale of a pirate queen, as she will parade the Caribbean Sea, with a pistol ready and a cutlass keen, the villainous, infamous Anne Bonny. Born in Ireland scandalously, bastard daughter to a prosperous lawyer, shunned suitor in society for the love of a pirate boy. So Calico Jack and our Anne Bonny, passion lovers, villainous plunderers, sail off for a life of piracy on a ship, the Revenge, ahoy! Oh, I'll tell you a tale of a pirate queen, as she will parade the Caribbean Sea, with a pistol ready and a cutlass keen, the villainous, infamous Anne Bonny. But this was the 18th century, where men make knives and women make wives, so Anne disguised herself to be a deadly pirate boy. Oh, she plundered and murdered and raided the sea, with cannons roaring, pistols warring, she ravaged galleons mercilessly. Oh, Anne Bonny. Then a fellow pirate caught a glance, her naked chest a woman's breast. So she drew her cutlass and took a stand to be a pirate queen. Oh, I'll tell you a tale of a pirate queen as she will reign the Caribbean Sea with a pistol ready and a cutlass keen, the villainous, infamous, Anne Bonny. And that's when Anne met Mary Read, a pirate siren, female tyrant. Together they terrorized the sea, a buccaneering team. Oh, they plundered and murdered and raided the sea, with cannons roaring, pistols warring. They ravaged galleons mercilessly. Anne and Mary Read. On October 1720, gold they struck, so the boys got drunk. An easy opportunity for a ship of British Marines. Anne and Mary fought alone with cutlass flying, pistols firing. They fought hard for their ocean throne, but lost their victory. And so the crew were captured, thrown in prison, death by hanging. But Anne Bonny was pardoned, for her belly held a child. So she paid her Jack a visit, and this she said, with no tears shed: "If you had fought like a man, you wouldn't be about to die like a dog." Then she turned on her heel and walked out the door and vanished into legend. Oh, I'll tell you a tale of a pirate queen as she will reign the Caribbean Sea with a pistol ready and a cutlass keen, the villainous, infamous Anne Bonny.
Hey, the lady graces us. Auntie Toast says, it's been a minute since I've been able to catch you. I'm glad I made it in. We're glad you made it in too, Toast. It's been a while. I don't think it's been months since I've seen you in. But I'm glad that you were able to drop by, my friend. It's time for the lady to give us songs.
I'm doing
Kevin
Gone
says
from
you're the
America.
lady spoiling us. We do our best. So I think Savage Daughter should be
Savage
next.
Daughter? Okay.
And then Bear said Gone to America. I think Gone to America we can end on.
Alright.
And Bear says, I really want the lady to learn all around my hat.
I know, he's been asking for that one.
All good, boss. We appreciate everything you and the lady do to entertain us. I hope you're feeling better. I appreciate the lady for stepping in and giving us a beautiful parting. I hear a kitty. Yeah, for some reason Milo decided to be very vocal in the midst of that song.
Yeah, I was trying to climb on the computer. Alright, Savage Daughter it is. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs fast. No, I gotta warm up for this one. I haven't been talking for 2 hours. So.
How does one learn to sew? It's an interesting question. Typically, you would just start practicing stitches. Because there are like 3 basic stitches that you can use for almost everything. And once you learn how to do them by hand, you can sew pretty much anything. Though in modern day, I would say you would probably better spend your time learning how to work a sewing machine. Because while hand sewing is a wonderful skill to have, it is far more useful to know how to use a sewing machine. Because you'll get things done a lot more quickly that way. OG Coach says beautifully done. Yeah, the lady's voice is absolutely entrancing. I think we can all agree.
I don't know about
Milo, the
that.
tavern backup singer.
Yeah. Thanks, Milo. I am stepping on stuff over here that's sharp.
That's sharp.
Well, it feels sharp. I don't know what it is. Okay, anyway.
I'll have to vacuum over
Yeah,
there.
I need to vacuum. Alright, I will try. I don't know if this one's gonna work out with
I want to make an outfit in the 2027 season.
the what?
Well, that's what Freto said. He wants to make an outfit in the 2027 season. The best thing I can say is get yourself a cheap sewing machine, or an expensive one if you plan to do a lot. Like get a good one, or find, because there are some places, like public places, that let you come in and use sewing machines. You might have one near you. I don't remember what they're called, but
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are, because the library might even have some resources. Hey,
that's true. Yeah,
can you
yeah.
stop doing that to my chair?
Kevin, I love Bones in the Ocean. Next time that you're reading for story time, we'll do some Druid song and I'll do Bones in the Ocean for you. Bones in the Ocean is a beautiful song. I like it. I need to practice it more because it's got a weird tune to it. Or not weird, but unusual.
Hey, boy. All right, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter, I will not cut my hair, I will not lower my voice. My mother's child is a savage. She looks for her omens in the colors of stones, in the faces of cats, in the falling of feathers, in the dancing of fire, in the curve of old bones. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot. I can't, I'm too out of breath.
What's the bell, dude?
Yeah. Milo, can you please? I don't know why he's all hyper. Yeah, well, you gotta stop, dude. You're tearing up my chair.
He can work since he's being all hyper. Oh, stop it.
Fabric's all ripped up over here. Jeez.
I knew a guy who wrote songs about sewing machines. He was a singer-songwriter.
That's funny.
Oh, that's brilliant too.
He's always got a good one. Okay. Not you too. You guys see me?
It's a steep learning curve. Like once you learn how to use a sewing machine, it's like eternally useful.
Yeah.
But it does take a little bit to learn how to do it properly.
Alright. Alright, I'm gonna try again. Here we go. My mother's child dances in darkness. She sings heathen songs by the light of the moon, and watches the stars and renames the planets, and dreams she can reach them with a song and a broom. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter, I will not cut my hair, I will not lower my voice. We are all brought forth out of darkness, into this world through blood and through pain, and deep in our bones the old songs are waking, so sing them with voices of thunder and rain. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughters, we will not cut our hair, we will not lower our voice.
I've turned into a kitty villain.
That's funny. Are you making him stay there, or is he just sitting there?
I mean, I'm leaning on him, but he's not trying too terribly to escape. Now it's
I'm too worn out for singing. Gone to America.
The lady.
I know I'm butchering them right now, but
The lady has been up for 24 hours.
yeah.
Oh, Milo disappeared. He's in. Come here.
Well, longer than that, actually.
Yeah, 48 hours actually.
Um,
What I meant to say.
like in between there, yeah, like 36, I guess. Okay, gone to America.
Yuna, hello, good to see you. Mainly beefing the thread. Yeah, just learning how the rhythms and setting up of the different threads and stitches is the primary learning curve for sewing machines. But once you learn how to do it, it's a skill you'll use forever. Cheshire Cat, yes indeed. The lady has a very pleasant voice. Parting glass sometimes would be nice to give. She does do very good with the parting glass.
I do not. I can do certain parts. I can do certain parts.
Jazz says you've never butchered a song, your voice is amazing.
Thank you. I sound very like hoarse and I can't like hit certain notes, but I'm happy to do it anyway if that's what you
forget
want.
that they have to listen to me for hours at a time, so even your worst is 10 times better than my best.
It's
Why
not
do you keep running away?
it's not really fair to compare. You have your own charm. You got the like rustic deep voice.
Why do you keep trying to run away? Why do you keep trying to run away?
So you can come over here and scratch at my chair. Stinker. Alright. Gone to America by Steel Eye Spam. Married him in April, lost him in July. Listen to my story and I'll tell you why. They said that he'd been poaching and stealing wine. They said I wouldn't see him for a long, long time. They said he's gone to America to work the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July. They took him as their prisoner, then told me why. They said they had sent him where poachers go. I asked if I could see him, but they said no, and now he's gone to America to work the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July. Curse the men who took him, curse their wicked lie. The night they saw him poaching and stealing wine was the night that he took comfort in these arms of mine. And now he's gone to America to work the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July. Alright, that one's over.
Alrighty.
Short and sweet.
Thank you, Bear, for the 500 bits tipped to the tavern people. Appreciate it, my friend. Oh my goodness. Stop. You're being such a baby. Here, let me give you Mom. Whiner. Whiner. Such a baby. Toast, thank you kindly for the heartbeat, my friend. You guys' love and support is overwhelming, and the lady and I appreciate it so much. All of you wish me luck with what goes on tomorrow. Hopefully, all of the problems I'm having with my mouth will be at least on the way to being solved on the morrow. Such a cute cat. Yeah, he is adorable. He's not very bright, but he's adorable. I miss this. Thank you, Council and family. Thank you, Kevin. I hope that you and Jordan are both doing well, my friend. I hope that everything goes well with your PTSD therapy. And anytime that you can make it in to join us or make it in just to watch a short story time, I hope that it will be a bit of a reprieve for you. But sadly, my friends, this is where we must end. I need to get to bed so I can be up on time tomorrow for my appointment. And I will appreciate you all for all that you do for us. And the lady and I are glad that we can be such a place of magic and reprieve for you all. So, while it is sad that we are parting, my friends, we will again gather the next time that you will seek a story. But until then, I will bid you all stay bloodthirsty, and we will see you next time. Good night, and thank you to the barkeeps for all that they do, and to the regulars, and to the new folk. Thank you kindly, my friends. Much love. See you next time.
The fire smokes black when she walks through the door. A shadow that stretches across the stone floor. She carries the staff, she carries the sight, a piece of the morning in the heart of the night. Satan, 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 Satan.
The staff hits the wood where the kings used to stand. Fate is a needle in a trembling hand. You asked for the rune, you asked for the flame, but you're too weak to carry the weight of your name.
The thread is unweaving. The truth is buried.